draws near, you must prepare yourself.
Whether or not you thought 2021 was a good year for games, and we think it was, 2022 looks to be even more amazing. Thanks to the pandemic, work interruptions, supply chain issues, and global warming, because why not, a lot of great titles got pushed into the new year. That was a bummer, but we have a lot to look forward to. Whether you're a PC or a console gamer, and no matter what your favorite genre, there's something coming up just for you. We dusted off the crystal ball, and here's what we think will be the best games of 2022. A Plague Tale: Innocence was one of those under-the-radar games that a lot of people loved. It had an interesting story, refreshingly different characters, and gameplay that leaned heavily on stealth. It also looked amazing. We don't know too much about the sequel, except that it retains the same medieval setting, older versions of the main characters, and even more rats. The Gran Turismo series is known for being a racing game that tilts a little more towards realism than some of its peers. If you thought it looked good in prior versions, wait until you see it on the PS5, with all the bells, whistles, and visual enhancements purring under the hood. Set 20 years after Dying Light, Techland is promising an action game with an area 4 times the size of the original. Lots of people really got into Dying Light for its cooperative multiplayer, parkour-like traversal, and the imaginative enemies and combat that changed with the time of day. From what we've seen, Dying Light 2 keeps what was great the first time and just adds more of everything we enjoyed. I can see why this one made our list, and I bet you can too. Shredder's Revenge is a 2D side-scroller that takes the turtles back to the days of yore. Yore, in this case, is a retro pixel art style that's based on the look of the 1987 television series. The Gang of Four, plus April O'Neil, face off against their longtime rivals on the main streets of New York. Starfield is Bethesda's new IP. It's a sci-fi action game that takes place in the year 2310. And although we haven't seen much of it, it looks like a promising departure for the developers. It's stated to come to Earth and our gaming rigs in November 2022, but we are just a little bit skeptical about that date, though we do hope we're wrong. We haven't gotten to play Forspoken, but the concept is solid. A young inner-city survivor is magically transported to an alternate universe. She has to survive there too, but she has magic literally at her fingertips. Forspoken is an open-world game with what the developers call magic-based parkour. One of the best female protagonists in gaming history, Aloy, is back in Horizon Forbidden West. She's older, wiser, and set to inspire cosplayers once again. For the second game, Aloy journeys to the post-apocalyptic West Coast, and from what we've seen, it looks like an amazing trip. There are tons of new enemies, huge new ecosystems, and lots of new weapons, outfits, and NPCs. More correctly called the Untitled Breath of the Wild sequel, we don't know a lot about this game, except, of course, that it most likely will be a massive hit. Promising more exploration in the skies above Hyrule, we can expect another fascinating open world to master, tons of puzzles, and a near infinite number of things to see and do. What's more of a challenge? The Norse end of days known as Ragnarok, or having a headstrong teenage son? Kratos is going to find out in the sequel to the God of War reboot that made us all practice saying boy in our most imposing voices. Once again, father and son set off on an adventure, this time to do battle with legendary Thor. Elden Ring has been called open world Dark Souls, and while that's not a bad thing, it doesn't do the game justice. With a story by George R.R. Martin and a vast and mysterious landscape to explore, Elden Ring includes everything we love about From Software games. It has challenging bosses, tons of secret areas, weird monsters, and enough lore to keep people busy for years trying to figure it out. The recent open beta only made us salivate that much more. We cannot wait. What games do you think should have made the list? What games are you waiting for? Let us know in the comment section below, and stay tuned to COG Connected for all your video game needs.